The war in Ukraine continues with full intensity. July 24th, 2026. A Russian ATV convoy pushing toward Ukrainian positions. FPV drones intercept them before they get close. Several passes, several near misses. The operator stays locked on. The lead vehicles take the hit. A second drone follows up. The assault ends before it reaches anything. Face to face with a drone, full panic. Rolling on the ground, struggling with his backpack. Movements that make no sense from the outside. Whatever he's trying to do, the drone doesn't wait to find out. It connects before anything resolves. Alone, cut off from supply lines, no real counter to what's tracking them from above. This is what the front looks like for many of these soldiers. Not a battle with Ukrainian troops, just an FPV drone they can't outrun and can't stop. No coordination visible, no backup arriving, no equipment that makes a difference against what's closing in. Isolated, undersupplied, often moving without any clear direction. The drone finds each one of them the same way, and the outcome keeps being the same. Firing at an incoming drone is harder than it looks. Shot after shot, none of them connect. The drone closes the distance faster than the aim can adjust. It hits before anything lands. An elderly Russian soldier spotted wandering through an open field. The last thing he sees is the drone closing in. A soldier barely managing to walk, leaning on a stick to move. The drone finds him anyway. 3 Russian soldiers climbing out of a disabled tank in southern Pokrovsk, likely looking for somewhere to shelter inside it. The moment they realize they're being tracked, they start running. Open ground in every direction, nowhere to go. Then the worst possible decision, they stop and group together, standing side by side in the middle of an open field. The drone sent after them is already closing in. It reaches all 3 at once. The blast doesn't leave room for any of them. 2 Russian drone operators sprinting across open ground, an FPV drone right behind them. No cover anywhere in the field. One of them is still carrying his own drone as he runs, refusing to drop it even as the situation gets worse. When there's nothing left to do, he hurls it at the chasing drone. A last-ditch move. The explosion from the impact is close enough that the distance he bought himself isn't enough. Another lone soldier tracked by Ukraine's Magyar's birds operator, exhausted, moving without direction, unaware of what's already following him. Minutes pass, then the drone closes in fast. He spots it and opens fire, shot after shot, none of them connecting. The drone doesn't adjust, doesn't slow down. It reaches him before anything lands. Motorbikes have become one of the most common sights on the Russian side of this front. Fast, cheap, easy to move through terrain, armored vehicles can't reach. That's exactly why Russia keeps sending them, and exactly why drone operators keep finding them. No armor, no protection, no cover for the rider. A motorbike moving across open ground is one of the cleanest intercepts an FPV operator can get. Ukraine's 63rd Mechanized Brigade clearing them out in the Lyman direction, one after another. Ukraine's 59th Assault Brigade working through the Donetsk front line, lone Russian soldiers tracked and struck one by one across hundreds of kilometers. What stands out watching these clips together is how these soldiers move. No coordination, no tactical spacing, no real awareness of what's above them. Soldiers sent forward without meaningful support, without drone countermeasures, without a plan for what happens when one finds them. Which raises the question, are these men being used to locate Ukrainian drone positions by simply walking into them? A Ukrainian Yak-52, a Soviet-era propeller training aircraft, hunting Russian Shaheds over the Odesa region. The rear seat gunner picking them off one by one with small arms fire. No sophisticated air defense system, no radar-guided missile. Just a man with a rifle, in an old propeller plane, doing what works. Unconventional, improvised, and effective. In a war full of cutting-edge drone technology, sometimes the answer is a trainer aircraft from the 1970s and a steady hand. Ukrainian MiG-29 crews, supporting ground forces, with GBU-39 and GBU-62 guided bomb strikes on Russian personnel and ammunition positions. The GBU-39 is a small diameter bomb, precision-guided, capable of penetrating hardened positions. The GBU-62 carries a heavier warhead for larger targets, both delivered from altitude, both placing the aircraft well outside the threat zone. Direct hits on fortified positions, taking out what ground forces would otherwise have to fight through. Muramasa unit working Luhansk logistics routes at night. 4 armored vehicles, 2 mobile air defense groups, a stationary air defense position, a fuel tanker, and a mine-clearing vehicle, all struck in the same operational stretch. Night vision drones, finding every one of them. Russian forces may have assumed moving in the dark offered protection. It doesn't. The thermal imaging doesn't care what time it is. Ukraine's 421st UAS Battalion Sapson sending fiber-optic drones into a hangar to find a Russian military vehicle hidden inside. Russia has been moving vehicles into buildings, warehouses, and hangars specifically to protect them from drone strikes. The fiber-optic guidance system can't be jammed, which means the protection that concealment used to offer doesn't apply anymore. The vehicle gets found and struck inside the structure it was supposed to be safe in. St. Petersburg, Ukraine's FP-1 long-range drones reaching Russia's second city. 2 Wildberries warehouses in Shushari and Utkina Zavod hit overnight, both set ablaze. Flights at Pulkovo Airport briefly suspended. The same night, a third facility struck in occupied Simferopol, a fourth in Tver, the fifth hit on Wildberries in 6 days. The drones don't carry the heaviest warheads, but they don't need to. A warehouse full of products burns the same way regardless. Wildberries confirmed the strikes and suspended operations. Ukraine alleges the company has been supplying the Russian military with radios, body armor, and drone components. The fires visible across the city skyline. Several million people watched billions burn. A rare large-scale Russian tank assault, repelled in a single day by Ukraine's Phoenix border unit. The toll: 9 tanks, 2 armored vehicles, 3 MLRS systems, and dozens of personnel, gone in one failed push. What makes this notable is that Russia still attempted a massed armored assault, despite having no real counter to the drone coverage above them. No meaningful protection, no answer for what's tracking every vehicle from the air. The result was predictable. Another large-scale attempt that produces large-scale losses and no ground. A Russian Buk-M3 air defense system struck while moving along a road in the Donetsk region. Caught under camouflage netting, still hit. A Buk-M3 is one of Russia's most capable medium-range air defense platforms, worth tens of millions of dollars. Losing one to a mid-range drone is a significant hit to Russia's ability to protect this sector from the air. 48 hours, 19 more electrical nodes, Yalta, Guzov, Feodosia, Yevpatoria, Sudak, across the length of the Crimean coast. Over the past 3 weeks, 136 energy targets struck in total. Ukraine's Magyar's birds leading the bulk of this operation, station by station. Here's what these strikes are actually doing on the ground. Russian radar systems, communication networks, and air defense equipment all run on grid power. When the substation goes, they switch to backup generators, which run on fuel that Crimea is already critically short of. Every substation taken offline forces a choice between keeping military systems running and keeping lights on. Crimea can no longer do both. The peninsula's ability to function as a military base is being systematically degraded, one switch at a time. Ukraine's 68th Airborne Brigade, operating the Bodana B towed howitzer, a 155mm artillery system using Indian-made M92 modular propellant charges. These aren't standard shells. The M92 system allows the crew to adjust range by adding or removing modules, burns completely after firing, leaving no cartridge cases to clear, and performs consistently from -40 to +60 degrees Celsius. Higher rate of fire, reduced barrel wear, cleaner operation. Hitting Russian positions with the kind of precision and flexibility that older Soviet-era systems simply can't match. What you just watched is happening every single day. ATV convoys stopped before they reach anything. Soldiers found in fields, positions that offer less protection than they look. As of today, July 24th, day 1612 of this war, Russia's total combat losses have reached approximately 1,436,100 personnel, with 1,410 more in the last 24 hours. Today, Ukraine's unmanned systems forces neutralized 22 Russian tanks in a single day. A massive Russian tank column pushed forward. 9 tanks and 3 BM-21 rocket launchers left burning. 5 Russian fuel tankers destroyed in Luhansk. On the front line, 233 combat engagements recorded yesterday, Pokrovsk sector taking the heaviest pressure with 36 attacks repelled. St. Petersburg's Wildberries warehouses hit overnight. Russia's second city, now part of the campaign, reaching deeper into Russian territory with every passing week. Russia keeps pushing, Ukraine keeps holding and keeps reaching further. Drop a comment. With 22 tanks neutralized in a single day, how long can Russia keep sending armor forward?